that can help him move through. As we are going to see what will happen here. That's a really intriguing pick. Crystal, a lot of eggs in your basket. We'll see if you can pull it out again on Tristana. But we've swapped sides here for game 2 between Snake and World Elite. World Elite on the red side for this particular game, and it's Snake on the left side for their second and final game of these two teams for today.
Yeah, you're right. The KO jungle brings a very different flavor, especially in a skirmish against the enemy jungles. You can see Kaz is going to have a lot of issue getting an assassination once KO picks up that ultimate. Crystal, she needs to watch where she moves right here, this Tristana.
Yeah, a few too many friends here. Conan and Ninja already hanging out in the brush, and STYZ has gone back to Sivir as well in this particular game. In fact, I think all 5 members of World Elite are down here, and Ella instantly wards as Crystal takes an auto attack. So they'll have vision of this bottom side of their jungle. In fact, they've got all of the entrances covered right now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting here. I mean, I really like the Maokai pickup here just because so much AoE damage coming down from the Rumble. Maokai can deal with that. And in lane, it's a very even lane matchup there. Of course, because Rumble has such short cooldowns on his Q and W ability, 6 seconds on both those abilities, he's going to always be charging up those spells. So you're going to see plenty of heal coming out of the Maokai passive in the top lane. So it should be a fairly equal tank battle. And
we've seen quite a lot of this actually from the Chinese teams in particular. A lot of warding on specific small jungle camps. Both teams have actually warded their Krugs with their trinkets. They want to make sure they can get information on where the junglers are starting.
And you can see kind of the fruit of that as we see Sivir. She's up the top lane here, so we could see a lane swap.
Yeah, starting that swap, it seems like STYZ will walk in basically unannounced to that top lane and start off there. Looks like everyone's helping Spirit right now, both Aluka and Conan, although Conan will now rotate up. So we are going to have a lane swap here. Aluka will double jungle to start things off here, and we're going to have the lane swapped around a little bit.
Importantly, even though they got a ward down on the Krugs, they're not a ward on the red buff here. So this has been completely unsided by Snake. A successful lane swap coming out from World Elite.
Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of red buff starts as well from jungle, especially when you get help from your teammates here, but Crystal and Ella will rotate down. I have to feel that this might favor the Tristana in terms of free farm, but STYZ Sivir could get the push on early.
Obviously, they're trying to avoid that Maokai Rumble matchup there. I mean, in the very early game, levels 1 to 5, and when the ultimate comes out, Rumble does have the advantage. But if they switch around, say, level 6 or 7, once you get closer to, the null magic mantle and building it into a bit more magic resist there, Maokai a lot more comfortable in the lane after then.
Maybe trying to pick on Flandre a bit more. And I don't know if this was intentional, but the fact that they knew the bottom had been warded kind of incentivized Beast to start on his left side of the jungle, which actually means that now that Flandre knows the swaps happen, has a lot less camps and experience to share with Beast.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. Because they didn't get the successful ward down, they've reduced the amount of experience that Flandre could have picked up with the jungle follow there. So a big strategic victory from World Elite from level 1.
Yeah, really nice stuff here. And Crystal and Ella will start pushing in there. Explosive shot already leveled there for Trist. Beast actually going to walk in and start a 2v2. We haven't seen this in a very long time.
Yeah, it's something that Cloud Templar was famous for, obviously, on the Rammus jungle days. But it's necessary here just because Sivir can put so much damage and turret pressure down.
Beast there will last hit the one that Flandre was going to miss. So babysitting his top laner nicely. Conan going to start to roam a little now as well on Janna. I believe known for Leona play normally. A big Leona player potentially.
He does like the roam ganks, and even on Janna he does have the ability there.
Yeah, going to come through. Ninja there. Oh, Baka knows what's up now. He'll be able to get himself away. Duke not quite out of the tornado, but he'll be fine for now. Zia versus Zera. It's kind of an interesting matchup. Very, very range, very poke heavy for both those mid laners.
And just as I was saying before, I mean, Zia has trouble with those assassins, but in a farm lane like this, I mean, Zia late game, his damage is just obscene. So they're going to be very happy to get this matchup in the mid lane. But, I mean, last game, it was Barker who was really doing a lot of heavy lifting with the massive stacks of AP on Xerath. So Xerath, no slouch in the late game either.
Flandre just powering up. Beast will now rotate through his jungle and try and pick up his red buff to get closer to level 4. Very aggressive push by both of the duo lanes, actually. Basically emptied into 2 different 2v1 lanes, and both Tristana and Sivir are pushing very aggressively towards the towers.
Absolutely. The lane freeze is not existing. I mean, it's very hard for Tristana, obviously, to not level that explosive shot and freeze the lane. You do see it sometimes in the OGN, just not skilling an ability, but potentially here had already skilled that explosive shot, and it was always going to push. And I mean, Sivir's best when she's pushing, so both of them with the push flavor here. It means plenty of experience coming down, and Rumble will still be able to pick up that equalizer, at least experience for it, by the time we see a Dragon attempt.
Yeah, Flandre sort of zoned off his tower here, but will return to last hit. No real dive threat right now. I like the ward just behind Flandre's Rumble as well, spotting out the potential dive from Spirit if he does want to rotate over there.
He seems interested.
Spirit is going to rotate. Actually going to find Beast now. This would be quite the duel. I think they've both spotted each other. Good deep pink ward, though, placed down by World Elite.
And you saw that Spirit. He noticed that Ninja was backing off there. He had to go and buy. So he knew he wouldn't have any mid lane support. Smart to back away from any engage.
Yep, does not want to get involved. And again, counter jungling, very much a team game here as Fiendish Codexes have been completed by both mid laners. Actually a small CS lead for Ninja, but Barker should catch up pretty swiftly. Last hitting minions as they crash towards his turret. Spirit, though, continuing to water aggressively here towards the top side of the map. And Beast, once again, forced up into that top lane to try and help Flandre.
And that's 2 games in a row where we have seen kind of the polar opposite play from Beast as from the first series against Gamti. Very much on the back foot here to the moves of the enemy jungler.
Great gank from Spirit. Good amount of damage down. That forces Barker to get away to his Sand Soldier. Doesn't blow a summoner spell, but a good little damage trade there.
Absolutely, and I really like Spirit's play here. He's not going for that selfish build Riven, you know, to look to split push himself, but he is snowballing his lanes very effectively.
Just wants to go in. Barker keeping his distance on this Azir, poking the minions down from afar. Again, wants to be careful with just his health bar after Spirit did pay him a visit. Ninja, level 6 now as well. Both quite low in mana are these two. They've choked through a lot of their potions and biscuits. Ninja, though, will pop one now as they'll just continue CS. And again, a slight lead here for Xerath, but nothing major so far, so we move back around the other lanes here. Oh man, actually gets caught by a stun. Has to be careful, the ultimate does juke the last ball. Ninja now flashing forward as well. A good stun, no, doesn't need it, and Ninja way too far forward, gets first blooded by the KO.
I can only imagine looking at his mana bar that he was probably 1 or 2 mana away from the flash kill on Barker. They're very awkward from Ninja. A miscalculation that could cost him this laning phase.
And Beast, just really smart presence, you know, knows that his mid lane is low, probably wants to be near the lane anyway, picks himself up a free first blood as a result, and things going well for the Snake jungler once again.
Sometimes things fall on your lap, Pastry Time, and that was one of those times.
I certainly know that feeling as Beast. Do a bit of a mid laner impression here. Spirit actually doing the same here on Kha'Zix, and both junglers farming up nicely, pretty close in CS, have the initial jungle item. Not enchanted, but finished up already.
Be interesting to see whether we see the Magus enchantment or the Devourer enchantment coming out from Kayle. There's kind of 2 flavors to it. Previous to the Devourer nerf, that would have no question been the pickup just because it synergizes so well with Kayle's overall kit, attack speed. But 20% cooldown reduction on a champion who loves to stack cooldown reduction is also a very compelling buy as well. So interesting to see which direction the Kayle goes with their build.
And we've actually had a swap back here. Beast has started this dragon and his dual lane zoning out the other duo here from Model Lead. So there's a pretty aggressive dragon coming up, but we're going to have Barker rotate down on Azir as well. And that actually looks like they'll just take this dragon uncontested. Spirit's not in the area. He's actually recalled quite low on health. Barker's zoning out Ninja now as well. That's almost a kill. Sand Soldier's not quite in range for the last auto, and that should give the dragon over to Snake.
Disgusting damage already coming out, and you have to think facilitated by that 1 kill coming down on Ninja.
It's such a sneaky dragon as well. Amazing to me that Waddle rotate their bottom lane down as the dragon does go down. Although Crystal does hop away, has to be a bit careful. STYC coming in. The tornado is beautifully lined up. The heal is pop though, but the ult's going to move in. There's the flash out, and Ninja goes down to Snake, but Beats is going to rotate through. Now Ella's here as well, and STYC's forced to flash.
Some of the calculations on damage by Waddle when it comes to turret diving have struggled a little bit there. And you have to say, you're correct. They made that rotation. They brought down their duo lane to give themselves some dragon pressure. Sneakily taken away by Snake.
He still lost it. Just such good knowledge of his champion and the jungle in general by Beast. That's a 2-man dragon that he felt confident starting just with the vision and just the knowledge that he could do it on Kayle with. I think Ella was helping at some point with Barker zoning out Ninja from that, potentially poking him off as well. So very nice strategic moves in the early game here for Snake, and that will give them about a 2,000 gold lead actually.
I guess some gaps in the vision there. You do see the pink that went down in the river brush that it would have given them vision on the exit from the dragon pit. They just had no idea that it was going on.
Yeah, and again, good pressure by the dual lane of Snake to just keep Waterley back. And it's crazy to me because I know you love to talk about the 1-item power spike. Because never mind, a fight has come to Aluka. We'll find Flandre. He gets blown up as the ultimate from Xerath comes in there as well.
Yeah, much better play from Ninja right there. Great roam on Xerath, and usually thought of as a very immobile champion. They pick up an answering kill, but so far the objective snowball firmly with Snake.
And STYC with the BF so can try and push aggressively here, but Crystal's level 7. Probably got as many points as he can afford into that explosive shot. And going to start counter-pushing reasonably well against Sisiva, who should have the push advantage right now.
Absolutely, and not playing with a significant CS disadvantage this time, although alone in lane has to be careful.
Crystal, this happens a lot, I feel like. Snake support Ella also seems to love to roam. Beast actually does pick up the blue buff. That was very nicely timed on that smite. And kind of saw it yesterday with the Nunu. Bit more counter jungling this time on Kayle.
Absolutely, a bit more of that counter jungling flavor. And I do like Crystal testing his limits. I feel like he's just opening himself up for those really insane team fight mechanics.
Yeah, and Flandre now has even visited the mid lane. Seems like Barker has gone back to base, so Flandre's like, no worries, buddy, I'll cover you. Building up towards probably that Haunting Gaze once again. Silk Shoe's already completed also.
Still no more information. I have to think with the attack speed pickup here with the Zerka Greaves coming down for Kayle, probably going to be that Devourer enchantment, but no confirmation either way of the build.
Ooh, Ella actually hiding in the bush. Conan level 6, Ella still level 5, and very low in mana is this Nami. Probably going to try and go back. Beast low in his jungle, but able to quickly clear out the Rek'Sai. Crystal down the bottom's in trouble though. STYs, he's popped his ultimate. Ella though trying to run defense. Conan with the slow. Can't get enough auto attack damage in. And Crystal gets away with it again.
Another misjudgment of damage right there. The flash comes out from Conan, but it didn't have the follow-up damage coming in from STYZ. Crystal lives another day, and it's been a recurring trend for Snake here.
Yeah, I mean, Crystal just seems to always push the limits of his champion, know exactly what fights he can take and where he can be, maybe a little risky here. And he's survived every time. He's chugging potions down now as well. No help here coming, by the way, so Snake have to deal with this on their own.
Yeah, we see the massive burst of damage coming out from the shielded STYZ there with the BF sword, of course. Up in the top lane, very equal. Rumble slightly ahead, just what we expect from a Rumble Maokai matchup as we finally got that 1v1 lane now. Yeah,
and I wanted to touch on a little, kind of moving back to STYZ just for a second. You mentioned that, the BF sword's already been completed, and that was the other thing about the bottom lane rotation that meant to me that I thought they were just going to take over the bottom half of the map, because I know you love to talk about Sivir's one item power spike, just that BF sword, they're going to clear so quickly.
I mean, BF sword gives her the instant wave clear, so theoretically Tristana should always be suffering under a turret. I mean, they do take the turret very quickly there, so they are able to pick that up. And Spirit, he's going for something.
He's snuck in. There's a port. Actually, Flandre's coming in. Got to be careful. Never mind. That's actually a Luca. But they're going to start this fight. There's the Rumble ultimate. And Spirit's got the first kill onto Beats Kayle. Now Flandre a little low there as a Luca. Jumps on a Crystal. Good buster shot, though. Might keep him alive. But World Elite 2-0 up. So far, Crystal in trouble. There's massive damage from Spirit. Nowhere to run. And he gets a third kill, I believe.
And Spirit, standing in a pink ward, knew he was unsighted there. Great teleport coming in once again, although Ninja, he's in trouble.
Knock up and a fantastic ultimate by Azir as well. Dodges the stun out as well. Barker just knows the limits here. Conan even getting poked out as well. Has to be careful. Ninja, though, will walk out of range of those Sand Soldiers. But a win there for World Elite. Spirit now coming in as well.
Importantly, no objective to pick up here, though. Spirit, everyone who goes in range of this Azir is getting poked down.
But he was not at that team fight in the bottom lane, and that gave World Elite 3 for 0 after they'd already gotten the tower.
And look, they showed great aptitude in getting those picks and setting up nice team fight victories in the previous game. It was the objectives that follow picks that didn't exist there. And once again, great picks, but still 1 minute to Dragon. Nothing they can really pick up.
Yeah, well, Spirit has to be careful. This tower's going to get quite low here. Barker with the blue buff, arising that tower as well for even extra damage. Janna will rotate in and keep that safe for now. But again, with that Dragon coming up, as you mentioned, all this Azir pressure is really mounting.
Once again, we see the power peaks and troughs here as Crystal here. He's struggling to get his items together. Infinity Edge is completed on STYZ. So this next Dragon, I mean, World Elite, they kind of slept on the first one. It's on them to pick up this one here.
Yeah, the CS deficit there as well. Which was done about 20 CS behind STYZ's Sivir. But Barker is again setting himself up to carry 20 CS ahead of his lane opponent and already chunking people down with just his Morello Nomicon.
It's one of those things where in the previous series, you would have said Flandre, you would have said Beast. Those were the names you would quote. Crystal in the second game as well. This game, it's Barker stepping up, so they've definitely got carries from all over the map to Snake.
Now, Luca has also fallen behind in CS, though, so Flandre keeping up with the pretty item-efficient Rumble as well. They're doing nicely there. Curious to see how this Kayle continues to evolve as we get into more team fights on. This next Dragon fight, I think, is going to be quite key.
Absolutely. And it's kind of be the carry power of this Infinity Edge Sivir against the dual magic penetration Rumble. Not level 11 crucial. Level 11, I would have definitely passed to Snake, but we could see a fight.
Oh, Crystal almost goes in, but there's a Luca. Once again, that's a great ult from Barker and a good Kayle ult as well. There's a tidal wave going to follow through, and Spirit gets low, but Conan will reset with his ultimate now. Ninja rotating in. He gets smited actually by Beast, who's trying to zone him out, and that's a win for World Elite. They've chunked them down. They don't have many ultimates left, but if they can keep them out for a little while longer, they might be able to secure the Dragon.
Health bars are pretty similar though, so starting the Dragon, tanking that damage is looking very, very risky for World Elite.
And we talk about it a little. Dragon, in terms of how quickly you can kill it, didn't change, but it does so much damage now. And Snake are coming in. World Elite really do not want to tank this Dragon with the rest of Snake behind them.
Every extra order they take from Dragon just makes the ensuing teamfight looking better and better for Snake. WWE, they might be biting off too much.
50-50, Kha'Zix gets it, Spirit gets the Dragon, finds right now. Logo is forced to flash out, Baka is rotating in, and Beast is going in. There's Crystal, wants to reset, gets one, and there's the next reset. Ninja forced to flash as Crystal will follow him now as well. Doesn't have enough, no he does, the Buster Shot will clean him out. 3-0 now for Snake.
And that last exit kill probably tips the balance of that engage over to Snake. They confirm it here with the mid turret. That's a very nice pickup for Snake.
And the lead again thin here, but Snake 1,000 gold ahead. Despite playing most of the last game, about 2,000 to 3,000 gold behind him. A similar looking team comp might make it 2 as well for the turrets. STYZ has to be careful here. Jana now in as well to try and defend off his turrets. They do clear enough waves out. STYZ actually maybe fancies himself. I like the sun turret there by Baka, just to make it even harder for them to crack.
And calling back to the gold lead here, Page Time. Being ahead in gold with a Tristana comp in the mid game, things are looking good for Snake.
Once again, playing around the carry Crystal perfectly on this Trist. And Crystal's decision-making as a Tristana player has impressed me throughout the games I've seen him play it so far. Not just the lane where we saw him snowball with a Trist, but his teamfight decisions and resetting ability, his general situational awareness is just fantastic.
And you look at some of those situations where he gets almost caught in the bot lane, and you might be quick to say, I don't know about this positioning, but it just feels like he's testing his limits, because when it comes to team fights, he always seems to maximize the amount of damage he does.
Yeah, and again, the team fighting as well from Snake has been so coordinated, which is just impressive to me. It's not just that Crystal understands the limits of his champion and knows when to go in. Oh, slight hiccup there, but Sivir has gotten the kill on the tower. Spirit, that looks like he's taken out Flandre, so teamfight has started off. But we'll talk a little bit about the next teamfight here. Is again, the thing that's impressed me about Snake, especially as a new team in the LPL, their coordination has been on point. It's not just Crystal understanding the limits of his champion, knowing when to go in and knowing when to back off. Everyone is setting him up in these fights to make sure they can snowball.
And some of that's in the team comp, obviously. To be fair, we have the Jana, we have Azir who can displace. There's a lot of peel for this Tristana here. But again, it's just everyone knows their role and follows it. And that's the sign of a good team.
Beast gets his blue buff, though Bucket may have liked it, so World Elite will deny that away from the mid laner this time around. Infinity Edge is creeping up as well by Crystal. He's missing his BF sword and, of course, the actual item itself. But he's picking up some farm now, evening things up a little bit more. About 10 CS behind as he takes out the Raptor camp. But things are ramping up here for World Elite, and that gold lead with that last little exchange seems to have thinned out a little. About 500 gold now for Snake. 500
gold, but crucially, Tristana powering up. And I'll keep coming back to that point, but it's on a Sivir to push an advantage. It's not on a Tristana to push anything.
And we talked about Baka Xerath last game, really having, I guess, the power in the mid game to carry his team through and get Crystal to the late game where he could shine. Again, on this Azir, I feel like he's in a very similar position.
Absolutely. I mean, he's scaling up. I mean, crucially, look at the ward coverage here from both teams. It doesn't feel like World Elite are translating any of their power into aggressive warding here. A couple of wards on the top side of the jungle, but basically no vision on the bottom side of the jungle for World Elite.
Crystal here will farm up. STYZ always fancies himself these aggressive engagers, I feel, but Ellis here is all level 7. Crystal hitting 11 there as well, so getting a good amount of farm and crucially experience as well. Fancies the crit, wow. Takes up quite a lot of STYZ's health, and they're going to siege up this turret. Azir's actually down here as well.
Important to note that was a static shift with pickaxe critical strike.
Yeah, not even the Infinity Edge here as Ninja's going to rotate to help out with the wave. Gets assaulted by the Gromp as World Elite have started that. And this tower is not long for this world, potentially. If Snake want to really commit to the 3-man push, but 4 members now have been pulled by them. 3 for World Elite. Tristana going to pop that rapid fire. And this tower's going to go down. That's going to make it 2 for 3, actually. World Elite still ahead on turrets.
And Maokai able to get some damage on the top turret here. Rumble just coming down to help his team if he needed to cut anyone off. Maokai, he'll get able to equalize the gold with the top turret, but overall, Snake seem happy.
That last little exchange there from World Elite that we may have missed. Picked them up the mid turret, I believe, so that's where that little advantage comes from. 4-2 now in favor of World Elite for that particular metric. Baron is up in 50 seconds, but he's probably not going to be looked at for another 5 to 10. And again, a very popular Maokai item there, that move speed item, that really helping Maokai get in and engage for his team.
I guess it's worth knowing for the spectators that even though it is a 4-2 turret advantage to World Elite, that does include Azir turrets, I believe. So it might be a bit misleading in terms of the global gold coming out there.
That's interesting. I think you're right, just sort of counting the turrets on the minimap. That's very curious here. There's going to be a lot of turrets killed this game potentially.
Absolutely. There could be plenty of turrets killed this
Some
game.
unbelievable amount here. As Ninja will go back, looking towards his second item now. Need to see large rod for Bucker's Azir as well. So powering up to possibly a Zhonya's or a Rabadon's, depending on where he wants to go with that power point.
Yeah, the one thing I can say is that Spirit is looking very good on this Kha'Zix. In terms of items, he's at a very good item point here, and it feels like World Elite, they're kind of undoing some of their power here by not getting those aggressive wards down and starting to come into the enemy red buff, the enemy blue buff, and really start to contest some of these objectives, just because they are in a power point right now where Tristana's still in that power trough. It does feel like they could be going and competing for those objectives, but they're not moving up their wards aggressively enough, I think, to take advantage of that Sivir pick.
And that trough isn't going to last much longer either. 42 seconds till the next Baron, and Tristana has all but finished that Infinity Edge here for Crystal, and that's a big jump in power. Not to mention that the Zhonyas that Bucker is going to be going for next could also be finished by the time that Dragon fight rolls around. So lots of power there potentially for Snake's next engagement.
And it's one of those shining points of Rumble, is that even though Rumble's 0-3-4, he has a healthy CS advantage, but hasn't really been involved in any of those kills. He still has kind of his two core items here in terms of the percentage health damage, and obviously the equalizer damage is going to be coming out in the next team fight. Look at Maokai here. He has the Righteous Glory, so he has some health. He's working on some magic resist, but he's not a frontline tank, especially to deal with Crystal in this next fight.
Ella here actually going to be a bit of a scuffle. It's Beast and the rest of Snake defending their pink ward here. Bucker going in, actually wants to go aggressive. Arise used on that tower. They're going to try and take this out and do very cleanly, Tier 2 turret going down with Dragon now up as well. The Azir turret's going to give them vision, if nothing else, towards that mid lane.
And vision's the word, Page Jam, because they get that ward on the enemy wolves as well here. So much advanced vision, so much map vision for Snake. They're going to easily be able to secure a dragon here, and it'll be difficult for World Elite to contest, but they're right on it right now.
I think one of the cute things as well about Azir turrets is that you kind of, your minions, the vision that minions give you, which is invaluable, just extends a bit further because it forces your enemy minions to stop at that artificial turret.
Look how cute this is with Bucker taking out the pink ward over the cove.
Makes me smile here. Another pink ward by, that Snake moved through, I think, as well, just in that brush. Ella will walk over it. I think he found it. Aluka takes out that ward. Turret goes down. 5th now for World Elite. That's going to get confusing as Flandre dodging out the Xerath ultimates. Out of range now, but that might be enough poke for World Elite to take this dragon.
So we'll have to see here. No vision on the dragon from either team right now, but we'll see the converge happening here.
Ultimate used by Flandre, I think, as well, so that is not a tool he can use. He's actually quite healthy. Maybe Janna's ult was used to reset. No, nope, that's not even a Janna play. Never mind. Ebb and Flow there helping heal up Flandre, but the dragon here will be checked by Bucker, who'll poke it angrily from the back. But Ninja's got poke here as well, and this is going to be a pretty long dance. You have to feel Flandre, though, down the bottom, maybe not Spirit. Going to get low here as well, but Aluka will come through an SD-wise. He just has enough damage. Conan does pop his ult. That's a kill for World Elite and probably the next dragon.
They're in the prime position for the dragon, but you look here, Tristana, she's not happy with just letting that go down. They're going to push up the mid lane here. They're in an excellent position to push here, Snake, and World Elite, they're going to be slow to react.
A pink ward there from Ella as well, just wants the timer, you have to think. And no turret forthcoming, going to rotate to the top, maybe pick that one up. Crystal will look to take the red buff now as well, but that was a pretty uncontestable dragon there from Snake at the end.
But you have to say no free objectives for World Elite here. Snake is trying to make them pay wherever they can. If they get a turret, great. If they only get the enemy red buff, it's still better than just staying back and watching World Elite take an objective.
Yeah, and it's one thing, again, to play well when you're ahead, right? And we talked about that, about Snake coming into this particular series. Snake are ahead in this game, but we're a little behind before. And this is a pretty contentious position right now in this game. So Snake still seem to be on top of things. And one of the things that is the mark of a great team for me, and we'll see if this continues with Snake, it's not, again, how you win when you're ahead, but your damage control when you're behind. How do you trade objectives?
Well, it's one of the overall narratives of the LPL this season, FaceTime, is how will the Korean players, the top Korean talent, mostly from the Samsung organizations, come into the LPL, and how will the communication barrier that exists, with these multi-language teams affect their play? Because you've got players who are known for their strong communication coming into a situation which obviously is going to require more pings, more use of a neutral language like English to be able to take advantage of situations. And a lot of players might know, but we do have 2 Koreans on this Snake team. Obviously not of the same profile of the Dandies and Martas of the world, but Beast and Ella, both Korean players here. So in a situation where a team's ahead, it's very easy to ping the enemies and say, go, 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 start that engagement. But when you're behind, can you communicate how to get little advantages, how to minimize losses in a game like, in a competitive game like this? And you have to say, Snakes seem to be working around any situation like that exceedingly well. If you told me they were 5 Chinese players, I'd believe.
Yeah, I think I would as well. And everyone in this game has picked up some strong items as well. Basically 2 item power spikes across the board here. So we've got Rumble now with a needlessly large rod to go with his Leandros and the Sork Shoes. We've got Zoni's completed with the Void stuff on the way to go with Bucker's Merlinomicon. Infinity Edge is done along with a static shift for Trist as well. And that pickaxe looks to be moved into a Last Whisper fairly swiftly. Sivir 2 items there as well with the Yomus. And needlessly large rod also added there for Xerath. So lots of good stuff coming out now basically for everyone on both of these teams.
But you look at the minimap here, look at those pink wards. You see 2 pink wards, 3 pink wards, defensive pink wards down for Snake. They've got the vision in their own jungle. They're not allowing World Elite to get any advanced vision. So it's a case of pushing in those minions past the first turret, which you've already taken down, and then backing. Like, you're not securing any extra advantages, any extra objectives. You're not even getting wards on buffs here. And it just buys Snake more and more time until we're going to have a Tristana with Kayle ult, with so much disengage from Nami. And it just worries me that World Elite, they don't find any way to be decisive and to take an objective here.
And if we have to think of these teams in terms of their, a late game potential as far as team comps go, are we giving the advantage to Snake as well, just because of, again, the kind of Tristana insurance policy by Crystal?
I think the one question mark when it comes to World Elite late game, obviously, Tristana's going to be stronger than Sivir, but the most important thing to me is Aluka going to become unkillable? We saw Wicked famously in recent tournaments, getting to that unkillable point on Maokai where it didn't matter how much DPS you had, you weren't getting through that frontline tank. In this case, Aluka doesn't have the gold, although we see an engagement.
That was a fantastic ult. Zhonya's as well, though. But Bucker is getting poked up, forced to get himself out. Ella will move into heal. But a couple of ults burn there, no kill onto Bucker.
So they're going to keep pushing here as Snake. I mean, if Maokai can pick up that Frozen Heart, can pick up that Banshee Veil, can become that unkillable frontline tank, World Elite are in for the shot for team fights. But just like that's ticking, we're waiting on Tristana to power up here as well. Very close to that last whisper.
Spirit cleaning up vision, though, has to be careful. Flandre has found him, and he's going to hit the hop. That was a lot of Rumble damage. Doesn't have his ult, though, unfortunately, so Spirit will get away from that one. And we just saw with the Rumble damage and just Bucker there before as well, poking them out. There's more than one carry on this team for Snake as well. Bucker's Azir is doing silly damage already.
And Rumble will always be relevant in a team fight, even if he's as far behind as he is now. And with that Zhonya's Hourglass, he can even become a pseudo frontliner just so that he can get in there. He can overheat with his Flame Spitter running and apply that Zhonya just to do some frontline damage to obviously complement the equalizer.
Yeah, I mean, Flandre's score isn't attractive here, but if he's behind, I don't think I want to be a Luca in this game. Maokai has not found the footing yet, or the gold to get the big tank items that you're talking about. So we'll have to see. World Elite kind of playing against their own comp a little bit here, because Luca does need quite a bit more farm. And Snake, again, have held onto the lead, but playing very comfortably. And this, again, a thin lead. 2,000 gold is nothing in this particular point in the game. Ella actually going to get caught out as well. The tidal wave does come in. Bucker, though, moving in, tries to move STYZ back with his ultimate, but the teleport will come in now as well. It's going to force the flash out of Sivir as he just poking people back, though, but Bucker has popped this on. His Aluka's in the middle. He will flash out, will Azir, and now Ella going to flash forward. Bubble will add great equalizer coming in there, cutting off STYZ and Conan, and Aluka is forced to flash as well. Spirit once again in, but Crystal gets that first kill.
It's an unbelievable equalizer coming out from Flandre there. Basically validating the Rumble pick all in itself. And Crystal's going in!
He flashes! So hand there is Aluka now in trouble as well. And he's just going to go for the reset. Double kill, make it a triple with the static shift crit as well. And Crystal...
The static shift triple there was massive pastry time.
He trusts his team so much when he goes in. That was nuts, by the way. Just jumped in and immediately flashed a Xerath post.
And you might wonder, how did that team fight happen for World Elite? Because they were in position of power, but Ninja, unfortunately, if we had a replay here, was walking slowly down the mid lane, trying to group with his team as the four of them got obliterated by a wonderful equalizer right there. And it was that positioning on the Xerath, who has long range, but not quite that long, that cost them the fight.
Yeah, Flandre's ult didn't kill him, but it basically invalidated STYZ from that last fight, as Baron will now go over to Snake as well. STYZ will push out what he can, knowing that the enemy's on the other side of the map, but Dragon is likely to go over to Snake here as well. STYZ is solo, he can't fight again, and ultimates are coming back now for Snake. In fact, they're going to fight Spirit, who base checks the brush. Goodbye.
Instant death, and it's going to be another objective.
Crystal just going in. STYZ is forced to pop his ultimate, and this Dragon's going to be the second here now for Snake, taking the two big objectives off the map in about as many seconds.
Absolutely, and it's only going to get worse for World Elite, I'm afraid. If you look at STYZ, he's so worried about the magic damage coming in that he actually picked up the magic resist here so early here, after 2 AD damage items, he picks up the magic resist. He's obviously so concerned about the magic damage coming out that he's worried about, you know, even the Bloodthirster. He could have gone for like the safer of the damage choices just to give himself a shield to take some damage. But I mean, his power trough is coming in right now, and Tristana's, especially after that triple kill, is only starting.
Yep. Again, Crystal just find his team giving him all the tools he needs to succeed, I feel like. It was only the one game where we saw Crystal just go aggressive, find a good time to snowball, get kills with his spells in lane, and actually snowball on Triss, which is quite rare. The other 2 times, including just the last game, Crystal has really been put up by his team here to succeed. And he's delivering every single time.
But it's not like he's going bot lane and dumpstering the enemy AD carry and just winning it himself. In both games, you know, it's been a bad matchup, but he's been sitting back, he's been farming, he's been choosing his advantages. And it's interesting that it's always been STYZ picking up that early Infinity Edge and starting that power snowball, but it's always been equal when it comes to 2 items. It's always been Infinity Edge Static Shiv against STYZ's Infinity Edge Youmu's. At that point, it's only going to get worse for Sivir.
Yeah, it's just so impressive to me that Snake can work together as such a cohesive unit, and Triss is approaching the 4 damage items here. The Rabadons has been done by Bucko, just skipping the Void Staff at this point. Wants pure damage on this Azir, at 230 CS, he's looking pretty strong against Ninja, who's fallen a little bit behind on this Xerath. And now Snake, they pretty much have complete control of this map.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that STYZ trying to cause some map pressure on the top, you know, much akin to Rivens in the previous game. But Snake going to start pushing down these structures, and with a Tristana this fed, they're going to do it quickly.
And at level 16, Trist as well. Got long range. Look at Flandre. Actually just fighting. He's going to go in for STYZ. That slow was amazing on that equalizer, and no spell shield saving you there.
And STYZ, this is a bit of his profile here. When his team is losing significantly, he does like to split bush, try and cause pressure, you know, hopefully outplay the enemy, but in this case it didn't work.
Bit of an emotional thing as well, you know, I have to get ahead, I need to carry for my team, and he goes off, and Flunder's like, oh, cheers, I'll take the kill. As now Buck is in the mid lane. They took out the bottom inhib and its turret as well, and are moving in here with STYZ dead for 15 seconds or so longer. Buck attacks out that tower. No, not quite. Does get it there as the Dino Shield's not enough. And Crystal's ulted up. The wave's coming in as well. He's cleaning house in this fight. Luca gets obliterated there by Crystal's Triss, and this might just be it.
Yep. I mean, Maokai, he just never got a chance to pick up those items. He's still picking up on the constituent parts of 2 big defensive items. Never got them. Crystal rips through them, rips through these turrets, and it's going to be a Snake 2-0.
Yeah, Snake. That's 4 games in a row for themselves. 3 games. Look at Flandre. Just going in there, good bubble on the Spirit. They'll trade a couple kills here back and forth potentially. Baka tries, goes golden in the zone, and will keep himself.